This week's video is sponsored by XBloom.
Yankee, you talk too fast, man. Holy. Good morning, people. Just went to pick up my car from the oil change. Heading back to the condo because you guys have been begging me, show me your living room. So today I'm gonna go chill at the condo for a bit, show you the living room, and then go back to the office because we have some other work to get done. Parkour! If you guys get fed up with the cars, please let me know. And if you don't get fed up with the cars, also let me know. That would make me happy. Welcome, people, to my living room. I also just got this Zara home. Looks super nice. Oh god, do I owe you guys a living room tour? I'd say it's like 99% finished. Actually, last week John and I spent hours. Am I moving? Oh. Like you're not in at all. All the way up. Are you in? Yeah, we spent hours installing the Hue light strips and the Sonos Arc to complete the setup. It wasn't perfect because I ran into a few issues, but I ended up doing some weird cable management behind the unit and got the whole thing sorted out so it could properly come together. So today, I'm finally welcomed you guys to my condo living room tour. Welcome, where we actually tend to spend most of our time, especially sitting down on this sofa. This here is an off-white sectional cloud sofa. It's actually extremely comfortable to sit in. A lot of you guys keep asking me where I got this, but my girlfriend's parents were able to pick this up on sale about 2 years ago. I think it was originally like $6,000, but because this was a floor model, it ended up being like $2,000, so that's good. Actually, if you guys carefully look at it, I used to have this plastic cover all around it to protect it. It's nice because after we removed most of it, you could see that the couch was in extremely good conditions. Thankfully, it is modular, so when we brought this all the way up here, it wasn't a struggle. However, one thing that drives me insane is the fact that the sections tend to slide away from each other. It happens more often when you move abruptly while sitting on it. Other than that, I think for a condo, it's the perfect size. It's like 108 inches in width and about 65 inches in length. It sits super low. I mean, the height is like 28 inches. Cushions are great, extremely easy to remove if needed. I guess I should point out that these West Elm cushions didn't come with it. I will say though, it does get dirty super easily and we have to be super careful when we eat or drink things on it. The covers of the pillow are super easy to remove and wash, but it does need to be done frequently. If you get something like this, I think it's best you avoid spilling something like coffee on it. It's not really something I drink on this sofa as I'm not a fan of coffee, but my girlfriend is. I think a bit too much actually, which is why we had XBloom sponsor this video. You want to know something interesting? They actually sent us their award-winning coffee machine created by two Apple product design veterans. I think not only the design shows that, but the unboxing as well. On our end, we actually got the cloud silver finish. It's a super nice design with great controls and aesthetically pleasing to the eye. The best way to use this is with the curated coffee pots XBloom has been working on, mainly because the machine knows the best settings and parameters to have the best extraction when it comes to the coffee. These contain whole beans, 15 grams, which is twice the coffee, and are primarily made of sugarcane bagasse, a biodegradable material composable within 30 days. Using these is as easy as tapping the RFID tag of the pod on the machine, pouring the beans on the grinder, put the pod on the base and press down to start brewing. Basically, from bean to cup, fully automated, which is what she likes. You can also use their app to get some nice information about the pod itself. They of course let you tweak some of those settings if you feel like you can tweak things a bit more to your taste. There's actually quite a lot of things you can do with the app, especially if you are a coffee connoisseur. An example of that would be using the machine as a standalone grinder. Look, the whole brand is about creating and curating a community and roasters. If it's something you'd like to be part of and upgrade your coffee experience, I'll leave a link down below. Behind the sofa, we decided to put a floor lamp from Ikea. This one here is the Louders floor lamp. Apparently the lamp's shade is made from recycled PET bottles, which I found interesting. It does sit on this solid wood base, also made from sustainable resources. I think the whole setup is a mood, to be honest. The height is adjustable if needed. Any excess cord can be hidden in the base, and most importantly, it actually very much pairs with Hue light bulbs. So I of course ended up getting these E26 bulbs for our lighting situation around the condo. Overall, I think the color of the shade and the wood together matches the sofa, rug, and coffee table quite well. A rug that we also got at West Elm, where we got the pillows I mentioned before. This here is a cozy plush rug in frost gray, which is sort of like white. To give you a bit of an idea on how big the living room is, this is a 6 feet by 9 feet rug, and so it was able to fit extremely easily in here. I will say, like the sofa, you guys have to be careful with such materials. I mean, look at this. Imagine spilling a drink on this, or your dog doing its business here by accident. I think I'd have a heart attack, to be honest, especially since at 720 Canadian dollars, it isn't cheap. But it's such a vibe to sit on, and your feet feel extremely cozy. I really do find it warms up the place and the mood. And that's why we ended up pairing it with this Japandi coffee table. Japandi, by the way, is a design principle that combines Scandinavian functionality and Japanese rustic minimalism. I'm a huge fan of Japanese culture, and I love being able to sit on this rug to eat at times. It has this awesome natural look to it. Looks like a bunch of slates came together to create the top, and the light wood is made of a solid monkey pod wood from Thailand. These accessories that sit on top, by the way, we got from a store called EQ3. Very nice, and it complements the whole table super well. I don't know, I feel like it's a piece of art more than anything. Just to give you some perspective on how low it is, it's actually 9.5 inches off the floor, and it's not too big, honestly. It's 48 inches in width and 20 inches in length, which is perfect because you don't want to clutter this space here, especially when walking all the way to my towel stand. Yeah, you heard that right, a towel stand, but we use it to hang covers, tote bags, scarves, and so on. It even came with this little pouch here that comes in handy for storing batteries. This here is the Vilto tower stand from Ikea, and for some reason they only have the black model available now. I actually fixed this to the wall because I didn't want to take the risk of hanging something slightly heavier and falling on the coffee table. Some heavier covers do end up being put in this basket we got at the bay. I think this little setup here really complements the living room quite well. Now, my favorite piece of furniture here is the media unit. It forms part of the Japandi collection where I got the coffee table from. It's the same exact material where we have this nice natural look to it with a water-based protective finish. This one though does have these little matte black iron base on it. It still sits low at 4 inches off the floor and a total height of around 20 inches. In width, it's crazy wide at around 72 inches, and on depth there is not much to it at 18 inches. They did warn me about avoiding placing this in direct sunlight or near a heat source. I guess because it's made out of natural wood, it could probably discolor it. They also did say that minor knots and splits may develop over time because of the material. Look, all I know is that I avoid placing any sorts of liquids on this. Instead, I use it as a storage unit with these soft closed drawers, and of course for tech and decoration. The left drawer here is where I like to keep our board games when friends come over, and the right drawer, well, for now I have a bunch of unfinished Legos I should probably get to. In the middle, the dividers are thick enough to fit a PlayStation 5. I will say there's not much depth to this, but cable management is easy. The entire depth of the media unit is good enough to have goodies on it. Like on my end, I have a Rolex catalog with one of my dream cars, a 997 GT3 RS. Having the gantry palm table lamp really does complement this corner well, and to add a bit of color, I added a London phone booth next to it. On the opposite corner, however, it's a bit different. We got our Google Nest Hub Max that is responsible for our home automation, my money tree plant I've had on this channel for a while, and I tend to keep my PlayStation 5 controller around this area. Surprisingly, the Sonos Arc bar was the ideal length and allowed everything to remain in its place without requiring any rearrangement. It literally fits like a glove. And you might be wondering, okay, well, how did you connect all of this to the TV? Well, my cable management isn't the best, but it definitely works. The TV looks like it's floating on the media unit, which is cool. First of all, behind the unit we've got a mess and a half. I bought this long power outlet from Costco. It literally connects every single piece of tech here, including the TV in the bedroom. When I installed the G2 a few months ago, I spent quite a lot of time with my dad trying to figure out our cable management situation. We ended up passing cables through this wall in order to hide all of the mess. I bought a couple of cover plates to make things look a bit more presentable. Not that it really mattered because the unit and the TV are hiding those holes, but you never know. I think as a whole the idea is great. It really allows you to keep things clean and minimal, especially when you have so many things going into the TV. This here, by the way, is the LG OLED G2 Evo 65-inch TV. It's actually the gallery edition, which only comes with the wall mount. This thing is incredibly thin, and I was so scared when we were mounting it. If there's a TV that I would highly recommend owning, it's this one right here. I believe the G3 is out already, which is great because you might be able to get a nice deal on a G2. But essentially, the beauty about it all is within the panel. The G2 is brighter this time around thanks to the fact that it has a heatsink. The picture quality is absolutely beautiful and the gaming features are absolutely great. The G2 not only comes with a stand, but it also comes with a 5-year panel warranty. So right there, if I was to compare this to my C2, you're saving yourself a few $100s. By the way, the only reason I didn't go with a 65-inch C2 in the living room is because the G2 is noticeably brighter. I sometimes consume content here during the day, and because it's really bright in here and there are lots of windows, I did feel at the time of purchasing this that the extra 200 nits would come in handy, and I am happy that I spent the extra dollars. I will say though, because I have so many windows, the glare can be annoying at times. I can't do much about it, but on my end, I got used to it during the day. As for the gaming experience, it's absolutely amazing. I do find myself playing story mode games on this panel more than anything. Yes, the gaming features are great and playing Call of Duty or FIFA on it is extremely fun, but when you play games that have been developed to aesthetically please the eye, it's a really fun TV to game on. I've got a whole review on the channel if it's something that interests you. I think on that video, the only thing I didn't talk about was the speakers. They are actually quite decent, but I wanted a bit more bass in my living room. So last week I actually went to get my Sonos Arc bar, and man, this thing is absolutely amazing. I feel like I do need to mention the fact that it's only worth it if you are a Sonos consumer. I have a few Sonos products in the condo and they all interconnect perfectly well. They are all user friendly, have great multi-room performance, and insanely good sound. Eventually, I would love to add a sub to allow the Arc to focus less on outputting bass and concentrate on mids and highs, but because I live in a condo and the living room isn't massive, it might have to wait till I get a house. For now, I think the Arc is worth it, especially if you happen to get it at a nice discount. I think for a condo setup, it's not too overkill. The last piece of tech that I installed in my living room is the Hue TV strips, and I'll be the first one to admit and say that these are extremely overpriced. Don't get me wrong, they are great. Like, the quality of the strip is the best I've seen, the diffusion is perfect, the brightness is very powerful, but for $280, I really don't think it's all that worth it. Why did I get them? Well, one of my friends hooked me up with a nice price and I love their UI. I love how well it integrates with all of the other Hue products in the condo, and it just makes my automation a lot more simple. But I do wish they were at around $180 mark. Other than that, like I said, they are great, plenty bright, and they were super easy to install. As a whole, all of this forms part of my minimal living room condo setup. I think for a condo it's important to keep things minimal, especially because most people our age eventually move out of them. It makes moving into a house a lot simpler. And also for things such as the audio setup, you can't go too crazy. Having neighbors and so on makes it important to be respectful. I hope you've enjoyed this simple, cozy setup. If you have any tips, we are open to them. I know I owe you guys a house tour and it will come. I'm off for today. Time to head back to the office. Take care.